Hello, 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 and welcome back to Whole Lotta with Nathan and...
Justin.
How's it going, Justin?
Hi, Nathan, who's sitting next to me. It's another in-person episode, and it's another episode that's super late.
Just a little bit late. You know what isn't late? The delicious beverage we have right here.
Yes, specifically.
Wawa iced tea, but with lemon.
Yes, we are trying 4 different Wawa iced tea flavors. Let's try the lemon one, which is probably like the classic one.
Are we supposed to shake these? Never know with these drinks.
I don't think so.
It doesn't say anything, but sometimes it just tastes better if you shake it.
I mean, it doesn't say so.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right.
It doesn't look like you should have to shake it. Yeah, it tastes like pretty standard iced tea with lemon.
So, fun fact, I learned this from my girlfriend's dad. There's like good batches and bad batches of this tea.
Oh, yeah?
The good batch tastes like this. This is good. This is how it should taste. And the bad batch, the best way I can describe it, it tastes like it has more juice in it, like literal juice flavor, not like it's more wet, like the literal taste of juice. It's weird. I don't know how else to describe it. Kind of like sometimes when you have lemonade, some really sweet, some really tart, and then at least for me, there's some that taste like they just have like a lot of like literal juice in them. Like the flavor of juice.
I feel like I kind of get what you're saying.
Fair.
Yeah.
So that's what the bad batch tastes like, which is thankfully not this. This is a good one. That tastes great.
Yeah, that one was pretty good.
Yeah, I would put it at number 1. What about you?
Yeah, I think I would leave it at number 1 for now. Maybe change it after I taste some of the other ones.
Yes. Have you tried any of the other ones before?
I don't think so. Maybe half and half.
Okay. We don't have that one.
Yeah.
I tried that one, but I don't think I've tried any of the other ones. So.
Okay.
Ooh, this is making me thirsty. So that might change my ranking. This is like not quenching my thirst. I'm thirsty now.
I don't feel like it's making me thirsty, though, so...
Interesting. Oh, and this cost us... it was a deal. It was like 2
So,
for...
yeah, it's like a deal 2 for $2.50.
Yeah, something like
I mean, that's pretty good price.
$1.25 each or something.
Yeah, for about 16 ounces.
Yeah, it's a pretty good
Yeah.
deal. You know what else is a pretty good deal?
No.
Not pirating, buying and legally watching the movie that we just watched.
That was a good deal.
Yes.
Which film was it?
The Wind Rises, right?
Yes, I believe it's that one.
Yes.
Studio Ghibli film.
What? This came out in 2014. Is that the
Yeah.
latest film?
I think that might... It's either the latest one or the penultimate Miyazaki film.
What do you mean? Penultimate? What does that mean?
Penultimate means second to last.
Oh, I understand. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so we unfortunately missed a lot of the ones in the theaters, so we're trying to catch up watching them on our own time. That's part of the reason why this is late. We have to try and find time to start watching these movies.
Another thing about... I don't know about for all of Studio Ghibli, but for Miyazaki films, that was his last one, because they're showing all of them in theaters, all the Miyazaki films in theaters, and this is definitely the newest one of
Miyazaki
lists
Yeah.
that they are showing. So
Well, and then this new one that comes out.
yeah, then they'll come out with a new one.
Whew, okay.
Which should be his last film ever,
That's
as
what
they
they say.
advertised.
Yeah. Yeah, so we just watched it. What did you think? You go first.
Overall, I think it was pretty good. Classic, like Studio Ghibli animation you would expect.
Yes.
Nice, crisp.
Yes.
They made the food look really good, at least as good as they could.
They didn't show a lot of it.
No, they
That wasn't
didn't.
the
They didn't really
focus.
focus on
I
it.
focused on something
Yeah,
else.
the focus was the smoking this
Yeah, I
time.
really wanted a cigarette.
Yeah, smoking's pretty cool now. So maybe I'll pick up a new hobby. But the food, when they did show it, did look pretty good. Even when they just showed like a bowl of like 4-leaf clovers or something.
Yeah, what the hell? What that guy was literally eating clovers with no
He
dressing.
was very happy about it though, so
Yeah.
I'm glad he enjoyed it.
Yep, but it looked good.
Yeah,
Like it looked fresh.
Yeah, it was super fresh. But so all that was looking good. I would say probably for maybe about the first half of the film, I personally really enjoyed the pacing of it
Okay.
because it was just nice, fast pace, to the point. I didn't know they did so much like time skipping in the film.
Yeah,
I'm
they
not
did a
sure
lot.
this is too much spoiling for that, but they did do a lot of time skips, and I enjoy that because we got just straight to the point. I think another thing that I liked was it was talking about a lot of like historical stuff. I like talking about history. And they were kind of getting into talking about airplanes and stuff like that, and I enjoy talking about that too. So for me personally, there's a lot of interesting things happening. I could see if you aren't a big history fan or don't care about airplanes like that, you might not be so interested. I could also see the time skipping not being something people like, because it did make some scenes feel a little bit abrupt, and like maybe they could have expanded on something here or there, or just took a little more time to explain what was going on. But I think it is important to mention that this is also like a 2-hour movie already.
Yes.
Yeah, so overall I did think it was pretty good though.
Where do you put it against the other ones that we've seen? Not like that you've seen in the past, like that we have currently
Yeah,
seen on this journey.
the ones we've seen so far. I can't think of the fullest, but I think I would put it maybe around the middle. The second half, I feel like it did slow down, and they took some time to go over stuff in like his personal life that I don't want to say I just didn't care for, but I wasn't. Just wasn't as interesting to me because they took time to talk about like his wife. It just wasn't as interesting as talking about like the airplanes and talking about her and stuff like that. So
I'm curious, what would you rate as like your least favorite one that we've seen so far?
say probably Ponyo that we've seen on for the fest this year going on. It's just too slow paced, but going into the movie I knew it was gonna be like that. It's very slow paced, very
It's okay, Brace.
much for it just felt too much for a child for me, and not watching it as a child didn't give me nostalgia to really look back on the film and be like,
Yeah.
such a good film.
No, yeah, the
type
movie
of
would
thing.
have slapped as a kid.
Yeah, again, as we said before, it did have a childhood like whimsy to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
This one has a real adult whimsy.
Yeah, it's like a documentary. It's a tribute documentary to the guy who
a lot
made the
of
Zero
smoking
airplane.
and stuff.
A lot of I want to cigarette now, man.
Yeah. How did you take the film?
I didn't like it. I was not a huge fan. I would say this is probably my least favorite of the ones that we've seen so far, and probably out of the ones that I've seen in total, my second least favorite, right above Totoro. I thought I just thought it was boring, and I don't know much about airplanes, and I'm not like a history buff, but I like history, of course. But I don't know, this movie just dragged on for me. This was the longest 2 hours of my life. I sincerely mean that. I just
I don't know. I feel like some of it could just be like maybe it's one of those things where you just didn't watch it at the right time,
maybe.
so it just didn't catch your interest.
Who knows?
It's not terrible though. It was good.
What else? There were some other things I wasn't a huge fan of. Oh, I didn't really care for just the way the main character. What was his name? Jiro.
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 J-I-R-O. Whatever. We'll call him Jay. I just didn't
My
really.
man's Jay.
I didn't really like the way he was just kind of like a stone statue the entire time. Barely voiced his Opinions barely emoted. It was very short, like only ever said like 2, 3 words per sentence. My favorite like point in that was when we both laughed when he's like, "Ah, I've always loved you since the moment I met you, my darling." And they're like, "Bro, what are you talking about? You haven't talked about your wife the entire movie."
I will admit, going back to that, I'm glad you bring this up. He did talk about him in the. Someone dropped off like a letter to him while he's at school. He did mention like, well, I did try to go back to the house, but their house is burnt down, and I just didn't know how else to get back in contact with them. But other than that, like, yeah, even at the scene where they met, and then like, I guess at the end of the scene when he left, it really you didn't get that connection from that
No.
first time.
Absolutely not. Yeah, again, going back to the time skips, yeah, I thought they were a little jarring. They threw me off from time to time because it was really tough to tell sometimes when we went into the future because like the characters didn't age. Like they aged, but like you could not visibly see them change.
Yeah,
except from kid to
Some of them like really did not change. Like the main character, he like really, like literally stayed the same.
yep. Once he grew up,
Look.
that was it.
That was it. Yeah, he was done after that point.
Yep.
Because even his one friend, I could tell a difference from like high school or university, whatever they were
University, yeah.
doing, into his adult like working
Same
life.
thing with his wife. She looked like a kid when they first met,
Yeah.
and that like
Then
she looked
she-
like an actual.
Well, yeah. I
woman.
mean, she actually grew up. So.
Yeah, but like this guy just like peaked in university, I guess.
Yeah, he never changed. Maybe that's realistic though.
I
for
guess. All right, let me run through the last couple of thoughts I have. Yeah, time skips were a little jarring. It was just it was so long, drawn out, and boring. I felt like some characters were completely pointless, like the big nosed German guy. Don't know what his
Yeah.
point was.
him. All I can do is like maybe pick up on, hey, this dude might have been a spy, but even if he was, like they didn't allude to, like what he was doing as a spy.
Yeah,
'Cause he was just at some hotel.
Is that why the cops came after? Or we didn't even see the police, but like the special police were trying to come after the main character.
Yeah, the first police came after him.
don't get
I guess because they talked to what
German guy.
could have been a potential German
Spy.
intelligence officer, maybe. I don't
I
know.
have no idea. I wish they talked about airplanes more. I
yeah,
thought
I wish they would.
I
talk
thought
about it a
all
little
of the
more.
moments where they showed airplanes and talked about airplanes were sick.
Yeah, it was like that. That was the best parts of the film.
Yeah, honestly. And lastly, the last thing I'll say before we move on, I will give the movie credit. This is probably in terms of animation quality, this is the best one that I've seen.
Super crisp,
Incredible. Especially like
very fluid.
yeah. I was blown away from like the scene that really like confirmed it to me like holy shit, this is the best looking one so far.
When he like threw the paper airplane.
No, not
Oh,
even.
okay.
In the beginning where he gets off the train and you see the fucking rocks in between the tracks like vibrating and
Yeah.
like falling off the track. Like that's insane. That was just so well detailed. Everything was
There's
fluid.
Small attentions to details.
Yeah, the animation was like so there's like realistic I'm sorry, there's like exaggerated fluid animation like, like an Overwatch cinematic, which looks good, but like it's, exaggerated. But then there's like realistic. This is probably the most realistically animated, like the way someone would move, like the way they for the most part they'd walk, they'd fall.
Yeah.
It was oh my god, it was incredible. So I will give that credit. This is probably the best looking one that I've seen so far, I
I
think.
feel like that's where a lot of the interest to Studio Ghibli comes from is the animation.
I mean, it is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of the time. But
So that's why on the animation for like all of these films.
yeah, I don't think there's going to be a single sour one.
Yeah.
But this one definitely stood out from the rest. But you know what else stands out from the rest? Nathan?
What would that be, Justin?
That would be the next. Oh, God, I thought I had the burp. I didn't. That would be the next Wawa iced tea. What? You pointed.
Carry your cup.
Oh, yeah, sure. What is this flavor, Nathan?
This one is iced tea.
Cool. Thank you.
Welcome. It's the raspberry one.
Yes, this is the one I've had before. I quite like it. It's very.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
It's subtle, but not too subtle. It's just the right amount of flavoring. It doesn't taste too sweet. It's not making me feel as dehydrated as the lemon one, but I think I might like the lemon flavor more. Where do you put this one? This is tough.
I think I might like this one more. I feel like it's just the lemon one just felt so plain to me,
Sure.
which I guess makes sense because
It's
a lot of people
lemon
make
Yeah.
iced tea. They put lemon in it.
Yeah.
So this one just kind of had a little more flavor, a little more sweetness to it. Let me check. I wonder if they have the same amount of sugar.
Yeah, it's actually a great idea. While you look, I'll probably put this one at number one just because this one's more consistent. I've never had like a bad batch of this raspberry. What's the...
So the raspberry one has about 20 more calories to it.
Interesting.
Has more carbohydrates by 2
Okay.
grams, but it has 1 gram less sugar in the raspberry one.
Weird.
Yeah. Something less sugar. That's nice.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah, I think I would put the raspberry one at number 1.
Yeah.
And the
Lemon number
one. Yeah. But I could see me still picking up like the lemon one. Just sometimes I'm not gonna want something that tastes like raspberry.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fine. Okay, well, why don't we move on because I can't think of a clever segue. So this next topic is the next movie that we saw. We saw this in theaters, and I'm going to cut to an excerpt of us right after the movie, of us just telling our thoughts because this was like a month ago, so we definitely would have forgotten everything by now. What was the movie? Because I don't know if we said it in the little...
Princess Mononoke.
Yes, Princess Mononoke. So I'm going to cut to that now, and we'll be back. Okay, we're back. I hope you enjoyed us.
No.
Fuck. Well, it's been fun. I'm going to kill myself now. Maybe I shouldn't say that. I'll cut that out. I'll bleep it out. So what's the next flavor we got here?
Peach.
Good, you can read. I'm so happy. I've never had this one.
Smells kind of nice.
Yeah, it's very strong peach smell. Oh yeah, thanks. Yeah. It's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's not my favorite though.
No, it's not. I'm not a big peach fan to begin with
I am.
either.
Peach Snapple is my favorite
Yeah.
flavor.
See, peach Snapple's okay. Yeah, it's okay. I'm not a big fan of that one either, actually. But yeah, I think drinking a little bit of it's okay. I don't know if I could drink through the whole bottle though.
This is definitely the sweetest tasting one.
Yeah, I do think it could be the sweetest tasting one. Yeah.
Check the sugar.
42 grams. It's
So,
the same as the raspberry one.
all right, so all right. I'm gonna put this one at 3.
Yeah, I'm gonna put this at 3, so I'll have raspberry 1, lemon 2, peach 3.
Yeah, same here.
Okay.
Okay. What's up next?
Gee, I don't remember how long ago it was, but they did allow
It
NASCAR.
was like a couple months ago, I think. It was like the
Yeah,
start of the summer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe a little bit before then.
Yeah, maybe around.
Maybe mid-spring, end of spring-ish.
Yeah.
But they allowed NASCAR into the Le Mans,
I know, it's awesome.
and
It's so cool.
so I'm not sure about you though, Justin, before this, but how much would you say you knew about it being there besides the fact that it was there?
Yeah, that's about it. I just knew that it was there. I didn't really know much anything else until the video that you sent me that we watched.
Who can you bring it up so we can see who
yeah.
did the video?
Yeah, it's
Just in case someone's wondering.
So
So we watched a
This is not
YouTube
it.
video about it.
This guy. It's
From
called
Driver 61.
Whoops. Yeah, Driver 61, called How NASCAR Was Faster Than Ferrari at Le Mans. Yeah, super neat video. It tells you, all you'd pretty much want to know about the car.
Yeah, 10-minute video, and it gives you all the details. At least I think it would be all the details you would want about the Camaro that took over Le Mans.
Yeah,
So very interesting.
It is.
If you're into this stuff.
yeah.
You,
And if you're not, why are you here? I hate you. I'm just kidding. Yeah, it's really interesting. I definitely recommend it. I guess just like a little background for like people that don't know. If you don't know what Le Mans is, it is a 24-hour endurance race that takes place in Le Mans, France, right? Yeah.
yes.
And it's, I think it originated back in the 60s, if I remember
I
correctly.
think it was the 20s,
Oh.
1920s.
Wow.
To, again, it was just a race
Yeah.
for companies to
Test their
durability.
vehicles. Yes, it's
Yeah.
a 24-hour race. You race for 24 hours with 3 drivers per team, and they take, stints of like 3 to 4 hours. per-
So the 3 drivers, each driver must drive. We watched a different video. I forget what video it was,
I got it.
but we watched another video talking about Le Mans.
From a place or a channel called Flashback to the Track, called 24 Hours of Le Mans Explained, a beginner's guide.
And from there, you get 3 drivers. Each driver must drive a minimum of 6 hours into the race.
Yes. Excuse
And-
me. So there's multiple classes, and depending on what class of car you're in, also designates like how many or what type of driver you can do. So
Yeah.
like the top classes of cars usually are all pro. I think you could probably be an amateur. I could be completely wrong. I don't know everything.
I think you're permitted all pros,
Yeah.
but if there's an amateur you really want on the team, you're free to go grab them.
Yeah.
If they'll come.
Yeah, I don't really think it's a. I think it could go both ways, but usually people go all pro.
Yes.
And then there's classes underneath that where
The LP2,
yeah,
which
LP2
is
and
you
then
need one amateur at least.
yes, and then it was GTAM, GTEAM.
Yeah, GT.
I could just look it up. Hold on.
Yeah, GT
Yeah,
Pro.
GTEAM. So GT Pro and GTEAM. GTEAM was the 2 amateurs
Yes.
and 1 pro, and then GTE Pro was just like
Yeah, you could do
the other
the
one.
full
It doesn't matter.
pro
technically.
team. But the NASCAR did not fit into any of the categories.
It was an experimental
Yeah, it was a
class.
text one, so that gave it the title of Garage 56.
Yes, so basically, it wasn't really racing anyone.
Yeah, it's
because-
technically in its own class.
Yeah, the way this race works is all of these different classes, which vary from slower to faster race cars, are all racing on the same course.
Starts with the fastest ones and
Yes.
goes back to the slowest.
Exactly. They're all on the same course, but you're only really competing in your class because the slowest class is obviously not going to be able to do anything against the fastest class. So it's just like it's like multiple races taking place together on the same course. So this Camaro, NASCAR Camaro, was in its own class. So
And
it's
they-
technically not racing anyone except
Yeah,
time.
and the team they had was pretty stacked.
Yeah, it really was.
Um,
It was. Let me see if I can find the names again.
I know Jimmy Johnson was on
And
there.
there was like one British guy.
Yeah, they had a British guy. They had a Formula Le Mans winner, Jensen Button, Jimmy Johnson, Mike Rockenfeller. But it was a stacked team. Some of them were there just because like it's fun.
Yeah, that's what one of the guys. He's like, a lot of
Button
people are
said
coming
that,
up to
yeah.
me and they're like, "Why are you doing this?" He's like, "Cause it's fun. What else would I be doing? Why
Right.
wouldn't I do this?"
And when you're under the Garage 56 moniker as a test bed car, you pretty much have like
There's no
no
restrictions.
rules, no
Yeah, you can do
restrictions.
whatever
You
you
can
want.
just go for it, and so that they really did take advantage of that. They I think usually a GTE car would be about 600 horsepower.
Yeah, they all have
Uh,
to stay within the same amount
yeah.
of power.
So the Camaro went up to 750 horsepower.
Yeah, and
just
it's NASCAR,
nuts.
actual NASCAR counterparts, like 550 or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
550 to like 610 depending on the
It's
course.
a road circuit or like an
Yeah.
actual oval. Yeah.
And they could have been higher too, but they have to get it to go for 24 hours,
Yeah, so they had to limit
around
the RPM.
5,000 kilometers, and it blew away the GTE cars. The Project 56 would usually have to start all the way at the back because it's technically not racing, so usually you get put to the back. But it was too fast. It was about 5 seconds faster than the fastest GTE car.
And it even passed some of the LPM cars, which are crazy quick.
Yes, and so that's just awesome.
Insane.
And this the sound of it in the video. They did a sound comparison. Like you hear some of the cars go by, and you're like, oh, I mean that's pretty good, but
Yeah.
like it can't be that much different, right? Then you hear the NASCAR.
That's awesome.
It's not even on the screen yet, and you already hear it, and it sounds like a jet.
Yes.
Fans who sleep out at the Le Mans were like, "Yeah, that thing's been keeping us up all night."
It's awesome. If it's so American. It's hilarious.
And the crew working on it really took efforts to make sure it kept like its NASCAR base build. That was like
yeah, that
one of
was the only
restrictions.
restriction was
Yeah.
the restriction they put on themselves to make it still be like a NASCAR car.
Yeah. And it still did it performed well in the race.
Yeah, it only had one extremely catastrophic failure, which they were able to correct. Normally, they wouldn't have. They blew
Yeah.
up their gearbox.
And usually that's one of those things. Like some things, if they malfunction, they'll let you fix. The gearbox is not one
For
of those
any
things.
class, from my understanding, you just cannot. Like, if you
Yeah.
blow your gearbox, that's it. Your race is
Yeah,
done.
it's the finished race. But because it's a project car, they were able to ask nicely and get permission to switch out the gearbox to keep going.
Yeah, which is cool.
Yeah, it's a project car.
Yeah,
It's
why-
not
why
racing
wouldn't you?
anybody.
Yeah.
Doesn't really matter.
And people, like, when... another one of my favorite parts was, like, when people heard that, like, a NASCAR car was going to be in Le Mans, they thought, like, oh, shit, this thing's going to be, like, heavy and dumb and stupid, and it's going to just cause chaos.
Just a moving chicane.
Yeah, that's what they described it as. So apparently, like, some of the marshals were going to, like, every time the car was near another car, they were going to throw up a white flag to let everyone else know that it was coming. And a white flag symbolizes when there's been, like, a deadly crash or there's, like, a really bad obstacle in the road that drivers need to avoid. They were just going to constantly throw up that white flag so cars would get out of its way.
Yeah,
But
so every time it's in the chicane, they were going to throw up the flag because they were like, oh, in the corners, on the turns, it's going to be too slow. We
Yep.
got to let cars know. Because when they're trying to drive and pass it, like, this thing's going to be here and, like, cause an
yeah,
accident.
but it didn't. It
Oh.
was super light, super nimble. The only problem they had, the brakes. They couldn't really
Yeah,
stop too good.
The drivers were talking, it was hard to brake it. They went full carbon brakes is what they
I think
said.
that's what they said.
Yeah, I can imagine at those speeds trying to brake would be in that car.
Wouldn't be the easiest thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's no, like, there wasn't any, I don't know if any of the other cars have, like, any active aero on them. And, you know, some might be able to help them stop. I don't even know if that's a thing. You know, I'm an uneducated idiot. But this car had just basic, you know, some canards, splitter,
Yeah.
a wing, nothing to help it. Nothing electronically helping it.
But their pieces put on it were big.
Yeah, huge.
The like little duck flap at the back.
Big. The biggest
It was
ducktail spoiler you'll
huge.
ever see.
It was awesome.
It's so cool. It just looks cool. Even if, like, you don't see it on a video, just look at a picture. It just looks nuts. It's awesome. It's just so cool. And I'm happy that they did that. And I'm happy that we're going to try the next tea flavor, which is...
It's a green tea.
Yes.
It's an original one.
Oh, yeah, I don't need the They're all original.
Yeah, some of them say raspberry or like lemon.
Oh
This
yeah,
one
this
just says
one's
original.
original. Weird.
First company to make green tea, I guess.
That's interesting.
Do you like it?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of green tea. I never really liked it. This tastes like grass to me, really.
Yeah, it tastes like nature.
I know some people really like green tea. I have had green tea in forms that I've really liked before.
Mm-hmm.
I think I went to Starbucks once and was able to get like a green tea cheesecake.
Oh,
That was pretty delicious.
wow.
I also think I've had like green tea mochi. That was pretty good too.
Yeah.
And the green tea Kit Kats, if you get the chance.
Ah, yes.
That is, maybe it's matcha? I'm not sure what the... I'm not sure how much of a difference there is between the two. I've never took the time to look that up.
That flavor, it's. I guess it's either the ginseng and the honey, not either or both of them. I don't know, but there's like a weird flavor after.
It's probably the combination of the two.
It's not bad. It's just odd. I've had a couple green teas before, and none of them have tasted like that. It's weird. Again, it's not like bad. I drink it, but like, I don't know if it's my first choice.
Maybe it is the honey. Given
Maybe
it,
is the honey.
now that you mention, I really do feel like the honey kind of sticks out from the green tea.
Yeah, maybe
Or
there's
it
just too
could
much
be
honey.
crazy. I don't know.
It's weird. It tastes weird. I'm gonna put it at the bottom.
So what is your ranking?
Raspberry, lemon, peach, and green.
I'm actually on the same pace.
Finally, it's been so long.
Raspberry, lemon, peach, and green tea. Usually we have like one difference somewhere, but
Yeah, we were on like a hot streak, and then like all the episodes after that, we'd get like up to the 3, we'd be the same, and then like the last one, we'd fuck up somehow.
yeah.
Excellent. Okay, so let's move on to our last topic, which is the my leaked nudes. Remember the fappening? Mine were in there.
Yeah, they was. Most people probably don't remember it because that was like the least popular.
It was,
ones.
yeah, but they were
Yeah.
there. So if you still have those files, check it out. Well, that's it. That's the show. So, now what are we talking about?
So have you ever?
No.
Oh.
What are you gonna say? Continue.
So have you ever like noticed how like before malls really cool, now malls malls are still cool. It's just not as prevalent in
Some might say they're dying.
today's society. Yeah, some might blame that due to online shopping.
Yes, that seems to be the go-to response to why are malls dying? Because of Amazon and online shopping. And to an extent, they're right. But, as we've learned, it's a little more nuanced than that.
Yeah, the big part of why malls are dying and what we were really trying to talk about is just kind of urban planning. The hell, like a mall, as big and grand as they may sometimes be in America, they're often like placed somewhere pretty inconvenient to get to. Like you really have to go out of your way if you want to get to the mall. You have to plan it and like make it a point to go to the mall and then fight the traffic of getting there, then fight the people who don't know how to drive in the parking lot just to get into the store and hope that they have what you're looking for or something worth buying. If you're just maybe looking for a gift or something, then you gotta do it all again on the way back home.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of inconvenient as opposed to compared to like malls in other countries that are not dying, or maybe not dying out as much as in America, where like in Europe or Japan, the malls are kind of very well integrated
Mm-hmm.
into
The town, the
yeah,
city,
the town,
whatever.
the city. They got tons of public transport to get there. I've seen people talk about how it's really convenient. Like, "Oh, I'm just going home from work today. Let me just stop in the mall real fast, pick up this or that, and maybe look around at some other stores or something." It's just real convenient, easy. Some people were probably thinking like, "Oh, I can just stop at like Walmart or something on the way home," but it's still like not quite the same.
No.
Because even then, it oftentimes feels like you do still have to get out of your way, and then the only way to get there is by car. Can't really walk there.
Out of all of the Walmarts located near us, I can maybe think of like one that you could walk to and you wouldn't feel like anxious to walk to because you're like walking on like a huge highway road. Like you're
Yeah.
still walking on normal roads. I can think of one. So
Yeah, I can only think of one. But then the thought of carrying whatever I bought there back home.
yeah.
Like, nah, well, I'm gonna go buy like a gallon of milk and then long journey back while my milk spoils.
Yeah.
Like,
No. No. And another thing too that we learned is because malls in America were very much, like there's a lot more malls in America than there are in Europe. So
not that necessarily talking about the mall of America, just malls in America.
yes, malls in America. there's less per square
Per
mall.
yeah, per capita, like America's a pretty big country. We don't even use most of the space we have,
Yeah.
and a lot of it we do use, I guess, is some type of shopping center, whether it's an closed mall, open mall, just like maybe like a strip mall or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, like a lot of store space, and it kind of ends up with things are just very spread out as well. Everything you can only really drive to. There's not a whole lot of walking there. Maybe you live somewhere close by to something where you can just walk.
Good for you.
Yeah,
Lucky.
sounds pretty nice. Maybe you live in a city where maybe things are just a little bit more convenient like that. But we're not like out in the boondocks.
No.
We're like right in what,
We're
suburbs?
Yeah, we're in the suburbs of a major
Yeah,
city.
suburbs. Yeah, it's very almost metropolitan like.
Yeah.
And even then, like, the stores we can walk to, they aren't gonna have anything.
Yeah, all the things that I need, I pretty much have to take my car unless I want to walk like 40 minutes.
Yeah, or like
I don't think people-
try
I think-
biking.
Again, I think this is an American problem. I don't think we realize the difference between walking and driving is insane. Something that takes like 3 minutes to drive to is like 2 hours to walk. I'm
Yeah.
exaggerating, but like you understand what
That's
I'm saying.
basically
It's
what it is.
crazy how slow
And like
walking is.
the lack of like train
You know,
transportation.
public transportation
We
sucks.
don't have a great metro. We don't
No.
have any trolleys. Well, some places probably have trolleys, but
It's not
again,
very
it's really
effective.
not very good. I can't think of many places where it's super publicized. I do think having more things within walking distance, having maybe a more reliable like bus situation would also be nice. Even just knowing, like, I vaguely know where bus stops are at in my town. I feel like it's not very advertised, and
No.
even if
No.
I do know where it's at, it's like I don't like have the times listed there. I'm like,
I don't know when these things are coming, when they're leaving. No idea.
That is the unfortunate part. Sometimes you just don't want to take public transportation
It's
because
gross. And it brings gross people.
There's a lot of people there that do not care about other people. So even like you do get the gross people that will literally just shit or piss in there.
Yep.
You get freaking the people. They got their phones out blasting it. It's like, bro, I don't need to. I
Yeah.
don't care what you're watching on TikTok. Like, keep that to
I
yourself.
hate that. Or, calls on speakerphone really
Yeah.
loud. Shut up.
Then they get mad at you if you ask them to stop.
Yep.
So, just some uncouth people
Yep.
on the public transportation.
Yep. Which, again, is a very American problem. And I don't know why, because it's not like there's asshats. There's no asshats in other countries. There definitely are. But when it comes to most other countries' public transportations, it's like how it should be. Clean, it works, and it's readily available. But here,
Yes.
it's not readily available. It's dirty, and it's filled with the most disgusting people.
Yeah, it's so unfortunate. Because I mean, I've taken buses before, and like it can be very convenient. It can be pretty cheap too. Because I've taken buses from like Philly to Boston,
Yeah.
from North Carolina
Long
up to
ride
Philly.
like buses
Yeah.
and like long ride train rides. Every time I've done that, I can't say I've had a problem. They're definitely cleaner and don't attract as many weirdos. But like your get around town type train or get around town type bus, always the worst. It's just gross.
Yeah, I'm sure if we'll inevitably get some listener that's like, oh, well, I don't know, the one in my town is nice, but hey, just enjoy it while you can, man.
Yeah, lucky you. I mean,
That's
I
not
wish.
most places.
no, I mean, I guess it's fine here, but like I wouldn't know because I have a car, because I have to have a car, because I have to go places.
Yeah, 'cause that's the other thing. Like, I feel like the bus don't even come around often enough for you to reliably be like, oh, let me just take the bus over to the mall or something like
No.
that. And it's not gonna be like that because everybody's just gonna take their car because it's just more convenient because I can just go when I want to.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time I saw a full ass bus riding
Yeah.
down Main Street.
I think another thing that I would like, because like in Japan, when I was living there, the train station was like built up around in a pond. Like you could just go there, and you had to wait. Like there was stuff to do.
Like,
Usually, probably the most common things that go to like a 7-Eleven or a Lawson or something else like that.
sure.
Then they'll have like other restaurants and stuff like that you could go
So
to.
there's amenities
So
in the train
sometimes-
station.
Yeah, and then depending where the train station is maybe you have like some shopping centers, and then you'll have other stuff like built around the train station, like outside of the train station, like other restaurants and bars and
Kind
things
of like
to
an
do.
airport.
Yeah, kind of like an airport. That's a pretty good way of explaining it.
Yeah, because here, at least that I've experienced, the only place to get that
Yeah.
stuff is in an airport.
Yeah, I feel like something like that is just so convenient. Because even if you go to like in the city, they'll have like little things like dollar stores, and they'll even have like grocery stores. Because they're a train station grocery store. Like
Yep.
that just makes sense. 'Cause
Yep.
people get off the train, then they might be hungry, and then
Yep.
stop in. But
Yep.
even if they put a grocery store by the train station, people won't want to go to it because they'll probably have a giant ass parking lot you have to walk through to get there.
Yep. Because
Like-
close.
No one wants to do that.
Yeah. Actually, I did think of one train station that kind of does that I've been to. Union Station in
Yeah,
DC.
that makes sense.
Does
yeah.
have like a mall type thing in it, but then this leads to the other problem. Most major cities in the United States are fucking gross and filled with homeless people and crackheads. So going back to the whole like a mall integrated in your city, yeah, that exists in America and it's cool and it definitely like feels nice to naturally just like stumble into the mall. But then you got to worry about the homeless man shitting in the corner, the crackhead that's coming up to you asking for $20, the fucking hooligans getting chased out by security, the guy who's like reaching in his pocket looks like he has a gun, and it's like, what the hell, man? I just want to go to the mall.
Sounds like you had a very stressful visit to the mall the last time you went.
Yes, the one in the city. Yes, I did. It wasn't the best. I hate the city,
Yeah,
man.
the city express. Like before, I never cared about the city. I was like, yeah, I guess there'll be a little bit more crime in the city, but especially in these like last 6 months, it has been drastic. Like I really noticed, like, oh, the city is like getting bad. Like this is bad. You can't be like this.
Yep.
This ain't proper.
Yep. It's the whole, it's the whole reason why we can't have like public Imagine if we had the public restrooms that European cities have in America. Do you exactly? I wish you could see his face. That face that you just made perfectly describes it. They would be burnt to the ground, literally covered in shit and piss, and there'd be heroin needles everywhere.
I just wish we had nicer vending machines and just vending machines everywhere.
Yes.
That's just so convenient.
I know. Like,
It's like, oh, I want a drink. Oh, I just gotta walk like down to the end of my block and go to the vending machine that's always there and always open and like always stocked with like just delicious, yummy things.
It doesn't have a crackhead schizo waiting for
Yeah, there's not like some dude waiting there in the middle of the night for you. You can just go, grab what you want, and get back.
Yes.
Like, that's, trust me, that is so nice.
I don't want to be that guy that like, oh, everything Japan better, everything European better. I love a country. Hot take. But when it comes to our urban planning and our infrastructure and the safety of our cities, it's fucking abysmal. I hate it. It's awful. And maybe, yeah, it is a little bit better in Japan. And yeah, maybe it is a little bit better in Europe when it comes to these specific topics. It sucks. I wish I could leave my apartment, walk down my front stairs, go down a random alley, and that alley's filled with random shit, and I stumble into a grocery store. I'm like, wow, I've never been here before. And I buy something, buy a prepackaged Caesar salad, and then I eat it on the front step of the grocery store because no one's gonna bother me because there's no schizos anywhere. Sounds great.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Just things placed better without the idea of me having to drive there, and then without everything being surrounded by like just massive fields of asphalt
everywhere.
So like I don't know, I don't want to be like, again, like Justin said, that guy, but it'd be nice if just built up a little nicer in more convenient places. Like we live near the train station, like there's just nothing near it.
Nothing. Yeah, I'm sorry. The train station is surrounded by
parking lots,
7
and, like,
different
condos.
parking lots, and then behind those parking lots, condos,
like,
and a house or two.
They definitely could have built around it better if they were really thinking about it.
But they're not, because that's just not how it works.
No.
And I know we're not the only people to complain about this, and apparently there's a lot of people that complain about this because in the video that we watched, a dude talked about this, I don't know what to call it, like I guess it's an organization called Strong Towns, and it's a whole organization based around what we're saying to like try and get our way of living to be more integrated and not so separated that we need a car, that we, everything's so far away.
I'd probably just drive there anyways.
Sick. Awesome. Yeah, it's called Strong Towns. I'll quickly read their thing. So their vision is, we seek to have the strong towns approach by the default way that every city, town, and neighborhood pursues growth, development, and prosperity. Their mission, we seek to replace America's post-war pattern of development, the suburban experiment, with a pattern of development that is financially strong and resilient. We advocate for cities of all sizes to be safe, livable, and inviting. We work to elevate local government to be the highest level of collaboration for people working together in a place, not merely by the lowest level in a hierarchy of governments. And then things they do, they talk about that, whatever. This is not that great. But their campaigns is interesting. They want to end highway expansion because the more highways we have, the more this problem persists. And I think we have enough. I mean, I could literally go anywhere in the country on these highways. I don't know if we need any more.
It would be so nice if our rail system was not owned by people who only want to use it for transportation of goods. It would open it up
And like
to
bombing small
transportation
towns
of
with
people.
chemicals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they could stop doing these
Yeah, if they could stop
terrorist
killing.
acts,
Yeah,
that
if they
would
could
be
stop
sweet.
being literal domestic terrorists, that would be cool. So
Yeah.
they want to end highway expansion. They want transparent local accounting. They want incremental housing, safe and productive streets, and end parking mandates and subsidies. Check them out. Very interesting. There's no sponsorship here or anything. I just find it very fascinating that there's a group of people that want to integrate the community more with living. Basically, the TLDR. Take a shopping center or a mall or any place that you go to purchase things or live your life, and then pick it up and put it inside of your suburb. Literally mesh the two things together. That's what I want. That's it.
Yeah.
I just want that. It shouldn't be separate.
Really
Zoning is
so
stupid.
separate.
It's so separate.
I guess I get what they're doing because they don't want to flood the people that do drive there. But it just sucks we can't have like more of a metro system to get us to the mall or something like that.
Yep. And another thing we'd even touch on, which I'll just briefly mention, highways killed so many small towns. I mean,
Yeah.
remember Cars? That literally happened.
That is a fake movie. That didn't happen
No,
at all.
you know what I mean.
Oh, okay.
The town, Route 66 is dead. That whole stretch is dead. So many towns have died because of highways.
Yeah.
There's so much America that is gone because we gotta get to point A to point B as quick as possible. It sucks.
Yeah, it used to be a proper country back in the 80s.
Yeah, like when drinking and driving was legal.
Yeah. Back when we could be cool.
I want to
Damn
have
communist.
my cool anime cigarettes in one hand and a nice ice cold Yingling in the other hand, and I want to be no hands on the wheel, smoking and drinking.
Well, that's what the knees are for.
Yeah, exactly.
Control the steering wheel as you're shifting gears.
Good times.
Uh,
You want to say anything else? You think we're
no, I
done?
think I'm good.
Okay, well, I'll just say the final intro stuff. Thanks for listening. I think this is episode 30. It is, yeah.
I think so.
So, congratulations to us.
Thank you. I
Yeah,
appreciate
You
it.
did a good job.
Yeah,
Us.
I did.
We made it to 30 episodes. I don't know how many people are listening. Probably not a lot still. No one follows the Twitter. Do we even post on that still?
No, you didn't tell me when you posted the video.
Whatever. We'll just do it for this one, I
Yeah.
guess. YouTube channel, Super Steel 777. We're also on YouTube. Unless you're listening to this on YouTube, then you know that. I manage some social media accounts. I will put them up on the screen because there's too many to say. And yeah, go follow them. Go check out the YouTube. Give me a kiss. And that's really all I need.
Yeah, all right. Hey, thanks for listening.
Yes, we'll see you hopefully sooner rather than later. Bye.